Before we start the discussion, a quick brief on Indonesia. It is the largest economy in Southeast Asia. The country returned to democracy in 1998, right after the Asian financial crisis. Indonesia was once an oil exporting nation and a member of OPEC. That was before, largely due to East Timor, which is no more a part of the country. It has the largest Muslim population, but unlike in South Asia, where Arabic influence is evidenced even in names, many Indonesian names are derivatives of Sanskrit, indicating cultural lineage to India. Indonesians love Hindi films. Shah Rukh Khan is extremely popular there. Without its notorious traffic, the city of Jakarta is outstanding and has a great nightlife. Sir, let me move to the first question. So much of positive vibes, but so low people-to-people connect. Indonesians barely know the contemporary India, and Indonesians do not, and Indians also don't know much beyond Bali. In fact, they know less of Bali. If we go by the outbound travelers data to the entire Indian travelers to Southeast Asia, only 8% go to Indonesia. Malaysia gets 17%, and Indians are one of the largest traveling class, most emerging, and a big spender. Indonesia does not feature in the top 15 sources of foreign tourists in India. Malaysia is 10th. Where did things go wrong? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bose. Is it okay if I call you Pratim?
Yes, sir.
With you? Thank you. So thank you for inviting me to your podcast, and I am very happy that you are featuring Indonesia in your podcast. I think, as they say, every drop counts. So if this podcast goes to, create greater awareness about Indonesia and India, I think that's worth it. I would try to contextualize a little bit your comments, because in Malaysia may be one of the largest or one of the big tourism source countries for India, but we have to remember that Malaysia has a huge Indian diaspora. Okay, in fact the largest Indian diaspora outside of India is in Malaysia. It is in millions, 6-7 million Indians of. So if you analyze it, you will find that most of the arrivals are actually of the diaspora community rather than Malaysian. So we don't have such a large community or diaspora community in Indonesia. Another problem which I find it baffling. In fact, the observations that you're making are also my observations, and there is no easy answer to them. So I may be waffling a bit, and I may be deviating from the point, but I am trying to understand it myself. One factor which I think was responsible or is culprit of lesser people-to-people contact between Indonesia and India has been the lack of direct air connectivity. It is still a surprise to me that two large countries of Asia and the world, their capitals are not connected by a direct flight. So happily, this situation is changing, and we will also have direct flights connecting Jakarta and Delhi very soon. But till, let's say, July of 2023, just 1 year back, there was no direct flight connectivity between Indonesia and India. That has changed. Now we have 21 flights a week connecting Bali, Jakarta to Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore, and several more flights are in the pipeline. So 2025, I think the flight connectivity situation will be much better than it has been in the past. Even the tourism traffic has been one-sided. We find most Indian tourists coming to Bali. India has become the second largest tourism source country for Indonesia. But the challenge is that whether we can take Indian tourists or Indonesia can attract Indian tourists to other destinations in Indonesia, because Indonesia is very rich in cultural heritage, in nature, and also the natural beauties are enormous. So there should be potential sites and places other than Bali where people can go. So I think that's a challenge that Indonesian tourism is facing, and it will be in our interest also to see that Indian tourists go to other destinations in Indonesia. You are right about Indonesians not going to India in large numbers. Partly it has been because of lack of direct air connectivity. Partly maybe because of promotion. Partly because maybe Indonesians don't travel far. They like to travel within their country and in the neighboring ASEAN region. So many reasons are there which contribute to less of Indonesian tourists traveling to India. But the numbers are changing, and I am confident that in the coming years we will find more Indonesian tourists traveling to India. There is potential. We are getting a lot of queries about mountain tourism, about adventure tourism, about Buddhist tourism in India. I think that may be the new areas where we should work to attract Indonesian tourists.
Yeah. Bali, I think Bali, Denpasar was connected quite long ago, but so that means there has to be a one-way traffic, but the others were not connected. As you were saying, it's nice to hear that Jakarta is now connected.
No, even Denpasar was not connected till last year. In fact, after I came here, the Denpasar Jakarta route opened up, and then we have a Bangalore Denpasar route. So without even having direct connectivity, Bali was a big destination. You see several airlines like Vietjet and Emirates and AirAsia, they bring tourists from India through their hubs. So that was always
Mostly
happening.
through Thailand that people move. Yeah.
Of course, through
Also
Thailand, through
through
Ho Chi Minh,
Bangkok.
through Hanoi, through Singapore. SQ is a bigger player in this market. So it's a big player in this market. So they also get tourists. So our carriers and also Indonesian carriers, they are losing out on the business. So it is in their interest that they put more planes. Another problem which I think was facing our airlines was that they did not have the right mix of aircraft. Because Indonesia is just beyond the range of these single-aisle aircraft, which can take you to Middle East or to Thailand and Malaysia. But Indonesia is about 7 or 8 hours of flying time from India. So this single-aisle aircraft were not able to reach Indonesia.
Yes,
Whereas maybe it didn't have
Jakarta
the
is not
traffic
7 to 8 hours, isn't it, sir? Jakarta is
Jakarta is more than 7 hours from Delhi. Yeah.
from Delhi. Okay.
Yeah, from Delhi. And even Bombay, the Indigo flight takes 6 hours, but that's the maximum limit. So that has been a challenge. And maybe it did not have the traffic for the wide-bodied 777s. So it got stuck in this technical problem. But now that Indian carriers are getting long-range extended range single-aisle aircraft or double-aisle aircraft, which are not as big as the 777, I think that problem is getting solved. So it is a matter of time when we will start having more connectivity between Indonesia and India.
You have I think you are there for another 2 years at least. So during what kind of change that we can expect in this period? One you said is about air connectivity that.
You see, there is only so much that an ambassador can do. You see, our job is to push the relationship. Our job is to convert, but windows into doors and openings into opportunities. And similarly, my colleague in Delhi, Ambassador Ina Krishnamurthy, is trying to do the same. But I would actually look at 3-4 areas where we feel that we should be able to contribute more to Indonesia. Of course, one is more greater air connectivity. Second is we look forward to digital integration, with LCSs coming into play, and then UPI integration.